Hi, everyone. I am continuing again today with readings from the Bible Promise book. And as I turn inside, there's kind of a dated title, Charity. I would probably call this Generosity. And it's interesting, there are quite a number of verses. There's like 5 pages of verses just on that in this book. And of course, in the scriptures, there are probably even more than that. And if you look down here, we were going to be in Proverbs 14, and there it is, right there, Proverbs 14. So I'm just going to read 3 or 4 of these, continuing on our theme of listening to good teachers. The first is from Psalm 41 and 42. This is listed as a Psalm of David, which says, "Blessed is the one who has regard for the weak. The Lord delivers him in times of trouble. The Lord will protect him and preserve his life. He will bless him in the land and not surrender him to the desire of his foes." Psalm 41, verse 1 and 2. So that's Psalm of David. And then Proverbs, this is in a section that's not labeled elsewhere, so we can attach this to Solomon. I believe in Proverbs that Solomon had to do with sometimes collecting and sometimes writing. So when it's a Proverb of Solomon, whether he wrote or collected, it doesn't really matter. We believe this is inspired by God. Proverbs 19:17 says, "He who is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward him for what he has done." So let me say that without the pronouns. He who is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and the Lord will reward the one who is generous for what he has done. So I don't know if you think about it, when we contribute to others, we are contributing to the Lord because we're keeping his instruction. Proverbs 14:21, from our chapter we would have today, says, "The one who despises his neighbor sins. Blessed is he who is kind to the needy." And then I turn the page over to 1 Timothy. And this is Paul writing to Timothy. So it's Paul the Apostle writing to Timothy as a pastor on what he should be saying to the people in his congregation. And this is what Paul said: "Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share." And so on this day in May, I would encourage you to listen to those words about being generous towards others, and when you do so, not to earn anything, but realize that you are serving the Lord when you do that. I'd also like to add a note. The Wisconsin state rules about stay at home have gone through the courts and have been modified or struck down, but they're still in place in Madison and Dane County. Those records were indicating that there are certain green lights that would have to occur before groups are safe to meet, and some of those lights are turning green. And then as the state and the legislature and the courts work out rules, we will see what develops. In the meantime, I would appreciate if you would pray for wisdom for the ministry leaders at Bethany. Bethany is a ministry center, so the Bethany English and Lao and Chinese, well as Greater Madison Chinese Free Church and Iglesia Nueva Vida, or New Life Church. As we will be meeting, I hope next Thursday evening, to have a discussion about when we want to reopen, what we will reopen, how we're going to go about doing it, and how we can make sure we're safe. As far as you as an individual, you should, it's just like when we have snow in Wisconsin, you should feel free to do what is safe for you. If you feel safer at home, stay at home. That's not a problem. Even if we are able to continue or resume services, we will try to continue to have the service tape, put it on Facebook and on YouTube. So even if you can't be there in person, you can see what's going on. So I'll be in conversation with leaders, and we will be having a meeting in this next week. But I would appreciate your prayer that we would be wise, that we wouldn't run ahead, we wouldn't fall behind, but we'd do just the right thing. And for all of you, I hope that you have a good day. And I know people don't like it when it's rainy, but the rain is also good and a gift from God. And it means I don't have to go out and fill the bird bath or water the garden today. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.